Forget about becoming rich, man. How do you enrich yourself? How do you wake up in the morning and be excited about what you're going to do?
If you're listening to this podcast, you're not on the get rich quick scheme. Listen, trades bring opportunities. They allow you to learn. They allow you to scale. They allow you to put away for the future. They allow you to buy things like real estate and other things, assets, companies. You're a W-2 employee. You're going to get taxed. You can't get away from it. When you're a business owner, you can do a lot of different things. Even working for a business owner, you can get paid other ways if it's not corporate. That can also help you grow in many different ways. What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. What's up, guys? This is your host, Willie Rodriguez. I hope you guys are having a blessed and fired day. I hope you're fired up doing whatever that you're doing. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. We're going to try to not make this one an hour long or an hour and 20 minutes long, but if it goes that long, it's going to bring value, guys. You already know. Today we have another guest coming on, which is a blessing. All right, this guy, what he touches is ponds, everything water related, and I'm sure plant related. We're going to hear everything about him. Okay, his name is Israel. His company is called The Pond Guru. We ask everybody that comes on to fill out a form. It's a questionnaire. It's got like 4 questions. He filled it out very profoundly. And he has 20 years in the tech industry, and he's bringing what he learned from working for big corporations into what he's doing now, what he loves to do, because he's a Florida native, which is now help our ecosystem and just better everything. But his main thing is to teach others and also tie in everything together, bring in the youth, bring in technology, bring in opportunity for growth, because it's like not, let's say, a dying breed, like I say about the horticulture industry, but it is an outdated industry. So bringing in what he knows to now doing what he's doing today, it's exciting. I can't wait to hear everything. My brother, God bless you. Thank you for coming on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So talk to us, my bro. Introduce yourself.
My name's Israel Perez-Siam. I'm a South Florida native. Grew up here. Spent the last 20 years in tech. A little bit of healthcare tech.
Okay.
And then private equity-backed software as a service.
Okay.
Private
equity, what, giving out loans?
No, private equity has portfolios with software as a service companies inside of those portfolios. And, things move really fast. I love the pace, but with the disruption that we're seeing now with AI, it's a little bit chaotic over there.
Oh, wow. So what, do you think that type of industry is slowly, it's advancing due to AI and it's going to be in need of less human interaction?
I think it's going through a violent transformation right now.
Yeah. Because what you would do, manage someone's portfolio?
So I was not on the finance side. Okay. I was in the software operations, dealing with customers, figuring out, how we were going to take some of these innovations to market, how we were going to drive revenue, how we were going to execute, how we were going to renew these contracts, all of that. And with the AI coming in, the go-to-market, the pitch, how you sell it, how you implement it, everything is just going through, like I said, it's a violent transformation right now.
So then you saw an opportunity. So then from there, you got out of that. You did that for how long?
So on the private equity SaaS, I've been doing that for about the last 10 years.
10 years. That's a lot.
Yep. And so the last company I was at was going to be acquired by a publicly traded company. I found out probably in August, and I've always done a little bit of consulting, and I said, you know what? I want to try something different. Let me pivot what I'm doing in consulting to focus on service businesses.
Okay. So consulting, but with service businesses.
Service businesses, because service businesses, they're just like software companies. And I know that's like a stretch, right?
In what sense? Talk to us.
You want to build, in software, right? The way that you make it profitable is you build your software one time. You make sure it meets 80% of the need, right?
For the users.
And then you sell it as many times as you can.
So it's a market strategy.
That's the strategy,
okay.
Right? So let's look at a business that I'm not involved in, but it's very attractive to me, HVAC, right? Mm-hmm. If you design your process, if you design your system to meet 80% of the needs, you reduce your SKUs that you have in your warehouse to as few as possible, you're going to drive revenue because it's a repeatable process. Repeat. Mm-hmm. And then whenever you can add subscriptions in there, you're increasing your cash flow, you're increasing your revenue, and customers, they're thrilled because you can move quick. You have the inventory on the shelf. You can offer competitive pricing because you're moving volume. And from a consulting standpoint, that's what I wanted to do. So my neighbor Mike has been on my case. So Mike is my business partner.
Okay.
And
he's not here today, guys.
He couldn't make it
He's
today.
here in spirit. We'll FaceTime him.
Yeah. He has a marketing and consulting company. I do more operations. And man, he's telling me about this lake management company that he's consulting with. He's like, come on, I need you to come in with me. So Mike came in and he's helping them transform their business. This is a 30-year family-run business. Super cool people
that do lake management.
Salt of the earth. Yeah, salt of the earth. Just amazing. And they know everything about this, right?
Okay. They're gurus in it.
They're gurus. That's where the name came from.
Okay.
So Mike tells me, you got to come in, man. I mean, there's so much opportunity here, and the timing. God put us in that business there. He put Mike there. He put everything there. The timing was perfect for me.
God's timing.
Because I was looking for an exit strategy, and I go spend a couple of days over there.
And it was producing cash flow already.
Oh my God.
Which that's good about acquiring a business that's already moving. You don't have to start from zero.
So Mike came in and he wanted to franchise it, right? So they kept their portion of the business. We did a full rebrand. Mike is moving franchises, and we're trying to build up different territories of the business. But going there in person, right, and doing that, first of all, it's like a vacation, because for me, I'm stuck behind a screen. I'm, responding to emails, and I spent a week in a warehouse. We woke up early and we prepared boats and rakes and heavy equipment.
So that's what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
So you're not really on the ground. You're using trucks to get the equipment to the lakes.
Yeah.
But you're also, some of the work is done on the ground, like with spray trucks or something like that.
So the part I least like about the business is the spraying.
Okay.
Right. But it's a necessary evil because, depending on what the customer wants, you got to get in there and spray sometimes. And, you can do selective, you can do a lot of beneficial bacteria stuff, which is, it's pretty natural. There's a lot of folks in this business, right? And a lot of them are just focused on the spraying, but there's so much more. And the mechanical removal is what is really exciting. So you have these bodies of water that get overgrown. Some of them are, they're drainage. Some of them are swimming and boating lakes. Some of them are on golf courses. And, what you see is, you let these go for a little while, and the cattails take over, the algae takes over, and it's because of us. It's because, we're spraying so much fertilizer, and it's all running off into there. And all it takes is a little bit of fuel, right? One log, a couple branches in there, throw the fertilizer in, you're starting to see algae blooms. You're starting to see the weeds come over the top. And the mechanical removal is so exciting because you're not using chemicals. You're rolling up your sleeves. You're using some equipment. You're getting in there, and you're
removing plants, removing vegetation.
You're removing vegetation, and you're making that body of water beautiful. And what we see, we didn't see it as much in Fort Myers, but what you see here is, we got a call in the Broward area for this body of water that it wasn't maintained. It was 80% cattails. It was about an acre, the size of the lake. We removed 6 shopping carts. We removed road signs. And, as a South Florida native growing up around the water, the ability to be able to come in and clean that up, because that's a habitat. I mean, there's egrets and ahingas and all kinds of birds that, once we cleaned it up, they're back in there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
No, you're actually helping. You're helping everything.
Yeah.
And then one thing I like what you said is you're not force spraying everything. You're for, let's say, starting from the beginning, taking everything back, cleaner environment.
Look, our preference is mechanical removal, but if you want to be in this business, you have to spray.
No, you have to. We have to do the same thing here. So back to, because I asked you the question, I took you off, of course. So your boy says, hey, bro, you have to come check this company out. You have to go see what they're doing. You spent the day in the
I spent a week out there.
A week filling out the boats. That's where you left off.
Yeah.
Stocking up the boats to go out and do your thing.
Yeah, we go in the shop, and basically, they've been around for 30 years. So there's a large customer base of bodies of water that they maintain. Some
older people.
Some some are HOAs, some are
No,
golf.
the owners.
The owners, yeah.
Yeah, they just want to sell the company.
I don't know if they want to sell, but they want to expand, right?
Okay,
They
they
know
wanna
they know they have something great there, but their knowledge is purely focused on the industry.
Okay.
And in terms of having the experience to expand, how to go to market, how to pivot and move into a new territory, I think that's where they've benefited from the partnership with us tremendously.
Okay. So you guys, I was misunderstood. So you didn't acquire the company; you bought into the company.
We bought into it, and from a franchising standpoint,
Okay.
right? So they own their territory. It's the franchising entity, and then on top of that, we want to make sure that we're expanding it ourselves in the territories that we've laid out. So we have Miami-Dade and Broward County. I'm really excited. This month we're opening up Sarasota. So,
Oh wow! So talk to us about that.
And they're
That's a
based
whole-
out of Tallahassee. Or
So Mike and I personally have Miami-Dade and Broward. We're opening up Sarasota. The company is located in Fort Myers, obviously our territories, and there's another franchisee out in Tallahassee.
oh, awesome.
So the other franchisee was already in it when you guys jumped in, or that's something that happened
No, that
because of you
Mike
guys?
brought him on. Mike brought him on. He's an awesome guy. But and again, him coming on has helped us realize that when you expand into a new territory, it's not executing the same playbook. It's understanding how to execute the playbook. Because
in that element,
in that
territory.
element, because Tallahassee, you have a lot of private land, you have a lot of private lakes, so it's more residential,
Okay.
right? And some municipal. In Dade and Broward County, if you're not going after that municipal business first, it's going to be difficult to execute the strategy because so many of these bodies of water are overseen by a municipality. And Mike loves the koi ponds and the residential stuff. I live for these big municipal projects and management programs because they're so challenging, right? And we're not supposed to mention any names, but my favorite municipality that we work with has challenged us like you would not believe. I mean, so there's these
In which way? Tell us.
there's these canals that run through the municipality, and the canals are impossible to access. So you can't back a boat in because they have guardrails. They didn't really think about how they were going to maintain these things as they were building around them.
Okay. Which is the builders.
The builders,
The builders.
I mean, the civil
That
planners.
was for landfill, right?
Yeah.
They dug that out for landfill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like an engineer putting a motor together sometimes.
Yeah.
They put the oil filter inside the block.
You have to take apart the whole block.
Yeah.
So to get a boat in there or one of our aquatic harvesters, you need to call a local crane service and bring your equipment on a flatbed and drop
Crane
it in.
it over. Oh man.
So that's not something you're going to be doing on a regular basis. So, in terms of servicing this, I mean, it's, kayaks.
Wow. Yeah. So you're on
It's
kayaks.
John boats.
Yeah. And it takes longer, right?
It takes longer, but to make things even more complicated, this municipality does not allow us to spray any chemicals in the water. So again, it's a challenge I love
Okay.
because it's very aligned with where my heart is and what I got into this business for. But we're going back to the farmer's almanac and doing it how they used to do it back in the day. And so far we have incredible results. It's
Wow.
a lot of the mechanical removal of the debris that causes these problems.
Yeah, you're learning. You just have to learn more.
Yeah, I mean, you get to some of these culverts and, the residents' houses back up, and really the best area to service it from is the culverts because you can pull a truck over, you can get some equipment into the edge. And what it is it's like all the debris, man. Every time it rains, all the coconuts, all the lawn chairs, all the, shopping carts, all of that. And, being able to pull that out of the water and see the results, I mean, you feel so accomplished at the end of the day.
Something just as, let's say, a shopping cart can really change up everything inside the lake.
I mean, scientifically, biologically, it looks ugly.
It looks ugly.
I think the biggest problem are the coconuts because that's fuel then to create algae blooms, right?
Okay.
And this time of year it's fine because it's been pretty cool. But the minute the heat starts cooking these things, I mean, it's
No, and you've had to learn,
for,
like, I think about it, you've had to learn, because you're coming from an AI tech background, working on computers, or behind a computer all day long, to now going working with your hands. And then now it's not like, a chat GPT type thing, maybe, but it's actually going backwards, starting from, like you said, back in the olden days, where it's a challenge in the sense that, man, it's not gonna be quick money, which is what everybody wants.
No, it's not.
Which that I feel like is a niche that you might have based off someone else. Let's say a community calls you, or a landscaper calls you. They have a customer that might need your services. They might call 3 other people, and all they want to do is they want to put chlorine in the water and knock it out. Because not everyone has the love to go and actually learn it, to go apply it, and then go and get your, pull up your shirt and get it done.
Yeah.
Not everybody has the time to either. Someone else might say, man, I don't have time to do this. This is the only way I can do it. And that's it. That's what it is. So you giving the time and the experience on what you're learning, you're gaining so much, dude. Like, like you're gaining so much. Like, who knows what the future can hold. And then, so now you guys are franchised this company that was outdated.
Mm-hmm.
You're bringing it up to speed. What other things have you guys done on the tech side that has really ramped up just the opportunities and possibilities for that existing company and yourselves?
That was Mike's hook to get me in here.
Okay.
So, every company that has a truck and shows up to a site, if they're not on carbon paper anymore, they're using,
that's where they were.
Yeah, that's where they usually were, right?
Okay.
They're using something called a field service management tool.
Okay.
And it just basically tracks, who your tech is, where they're going out, what service they're performing, and it captures, the details. Did you spray chemical? How much was the visit performed? At what time? How much time did you spend out here? And, the back office is going to use all the data that's collected in the FSM to be able to invoice, to manage inventory. And what got me in here is, Mike was really struggling with the FSM. And, we did a search. And I think that's another area that's really exciting down the road. I'll put that one on the back burner. But
I want to hear about it too.
I tested.
Because this industry's the same thing.
I tested every FSM and...
Explain what an FSM is.
Field service management tool.
Okay.
And they're all terrible.
Okay. And this is what apps? Existing.
This is the app, right?
This is existing apps.
So if you're a nursery, right, and I'm in the lake management business, right? We're not in the tech business.
No.
You're not going to go develop your own app because you need to manage your inventory or I need to get a truck to a lake to go do a
it costs too
service.
much money to do that.
We're not in that business.
Yeah, we're not selling that either. Yeah.
Exactly. So you need to go and buy something
that
off
exists.
the shelf, put it into service, and figure out how you're going to integrate that into your business. And one of the things that we found is, there's just not really great options, again, because the service businesses have been neglected. Because they've done so well on carbon paper. They've done so well because generally there's someone behind the scenes that knows everything. Like you were asking me, like, you have to learn so much in such a short time, and you're learning so many lessons. Well, I have Chat GP Tim. Tim is the owner of the Fort Myers location, and when I run into a problem, I call Tim.
I know, but what happens when Tim's not available?
But that's the thing,
that's what
right?
sucks.
So
Tim's got to be a slave.
So, and the other thing is, what happens when you need a bill at the end of the month? Tim knows everything because he sent, tech to this location. He sent a tech to this location. No one's optimizing the routes. So if I have 2 trucks, 2 boats, I have a buggy and a harvester, right? How am I optimizing the routes, right? How am I putting things into a system that's able to understand what resources I have, what resources I need, and able to plan them in a way that's going to give me maximum efficiency, right? Before we started, we were talking about how, you entrust your employees with an $80,000 truck, $20,000 worth of plants, and you're sending them to Tampa, right? Well, my equipment's expensive too, right? So how do we maximize what we're doing, right? How do we maximize the value of these resources and these people that we have working for us to drive revenue, to create value with customers, right? If that truck is already on the way to Tampa and you have an extra, 10 feet in the truck, is there another customer that's getting an order, maybe next week that you can accommodate in that truck, right? And tapping into these tools allows you to do that. It allows you to optimize your routes, to, create additional value without really putting in a lot of effort.
Wow. So using these tools. So you brought these things in, and what did you guys do? You pieced something together and made your own?
We took some off-the-shelf stuff and put it together in a way that optimizes the way we're working. It optimizes the routes, and then it gives the tech that's out there performing that service all the notes that they need, right? So if you are in a municipality or you're in an HOA, how do you even access it? How do you get in? Right, so the HOAs, they'll give you a code.
Everybody's different too.
They'll give you a code, so it's access instructions. It's what kind of equipment do you need? What chemicals do you need to have on hand? What are the expectations? Who should you check in with? Look, I have a ton of respect for this industry. It's been around a long time, but the industry has a way that they do things. They show up on their schedule. They provide their treatment. They do it in a very cost-effective way, and they're out. I wanted to get into this to do something full service, right? And I didn't want to be the pool guy for the lake.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, put chlorine and let's go.
Essentially, right? It's the same thing. And I thought we could do so much more, right? So, what are you doing to maintain the ecosystem? Who's in charge here? One of the complaints I got was, they just come and they don't even talk to me. Someone cares about that body of water. It doesn't take any more effort to just go check in with this individual and let them know, hey, I noticed you have a lot of peacock bass. They're congregating around this area. I took care of these weeds that were coming around here. We removed, X amount of debris in this section. Obviously, we're putting that in field. We're capturing that in the FSM, and we're sending out these reports to the customers also. But it's that human touch.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah.
No, and you think about it, like Country Walk is close to here, and I'll talk about Country Walk. I went to a little thing that my wife put together for the second grade class, and man, the water there was crispy clear. It was beautiful, man. And there's a beautiful spot, like you can get married there. There's a gazebo. I'm like, man, this is beautiful. The fact that someone manages that is cool. Yeah. Because it's not just sitting there. Someone does the grass, someone paints all of the yellow lines on the parking lot, someone takes care of the main place where they do the gatherings, get-togethers, basketball court. What is that called? Like the community,
the amenities.
Yeah, the center, like the community, whatever it's called. I'm drawing a blank right now. They take care of all of that, but it's like what you said. No one pays attention to that. They'll have janitors that clean the bathrooms. They have all these other things, but who takes care of the water?
Yeah. And
it's very cool knowing that now when I go to see these places and I see the water, I'm going to be looking at it, and not I'll text you a picture with the coordinates. No, because, man, that really does change the whole game and levels up the community. Yeah. For real. You think about you want to have a prestigious place, a prestigious community, all these people charging very high HOAs. Everybody's HOA's gone up 70, 80% in Miami-Dade County, even in Fort Lauderdale, I'm assuming, over the past 3 to 5 years. Some of that has to be going at least to the pond guru or someone like that takes care of the lakes as well. If you fall in, you want to know that you're not going to get some crazy bacteria that you're going to die from. No, for real. Yeah. Your kids are playing there. You have kids. If there's any pests, like let's say there's a gator, you guys can see it. You're actually looking there. You're on a boat. You're paying attention. You're causing a ruckus. You're pulling out weeds. Like you will see if there's snakes, if there's anything dangerous for children, where you can call animal control and have them take out the animal. Like there's a lot that goes on there. Like I see it very, very nice.
Some of these lakes are for aesthetics. Well, they'll have a fountain. They'll look nice. Some of them are for drainage.
Okay.
Some of them are for swimming and boating, right? So a swimming and boating lake, I'm going to treat very differently than a drainage lake, because a drainage lake, that water's already dirty.
That's water from what, the houses, like runoff?
Water from the runoff from the parking lot, runoff from the street. Remember, we live in a swamp, right? So all of this was dug out. And when they dig it out, they fill and they build on top, and someone's got to maintain where they dug out from, because that's where the water goes.
Wow. Oh, but it's cool, man. Like, you don't think about this. What you guys do, it's not common. And you don't think about it on the daily.
Yeah.
Like what we do plants. People don't think about that on the
No,
daily.
they just see the plants and
They just
someone
see
put
it
it
and
there,
that's
you know,
it.
but they
Yeah.
don't realize that,
They
you know, a
don't
lot
know.
of effort went into, you know, picking what plant is going to do well here, what plant is going to play into the aesthetics, you know. When we do littoral management, right? So that's the edge of the lake. You know, some communities and golf courses, they want that crisp edge, you know, they don't want to see any plants, but if you really want to have a thriving ecosystem, you want birds, you want to minimize chemical use, you want to protect your shoreline so you don't have erosion, you're definitely putting littoral plants in. And people just see it and they're like, wow, this looks beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, you know, someone spent a lot of time getting that to be like that because that's not natural, because someone dug that hole to fill
Mm-hmm.
and it was just a gravel pit, you know?
And is that something you guys do?
Yes.
Incorporate plants? You'll buy
Yes.
plants?
Yes.
That's cool. So that's a whole thing. That's a whole nother niche. Imagine someone having a nursery that's only water type plants, which I know they have that, but they're normally real small.
Yeah.
But it's very cool and very interesting as well. You see those sometimes at the fish farms. They'll have plants as well. So what are some of the things you're working on now behind the scenes? I just want to talk more about the tech side and the franchise side of it, because I feel like that brings a lot of value. Just listening to someone that has been in the tech for 20 years, jumping into a space that's old school,
Mm-hmm.
with pen and paper, and now bringing it up to speed. What are you guys currently working on now, if you can share it, that is like revolutionizing and pioneering what your industry is?
Yeah, I think something really new in the industry that we're getting into is reducing the capital outlay required for some of the projects that these municipalities and HOAs undertake, right? So everyone's in a crunch now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we had the collapse of that building and all these associations
beach?
now. Yeah, the one
Or
on the beach.
Brickell. It was Brickell, right?
It was the beach. It
was
was
the beach.
it was somewhere on the beach, and you know, now all these buildings.
Oh, you're talking about the one that collapsed,
Surfside.
not the one that just happened this weekend.
No, Surfside.
they blew up.
After
Oh,
the
yeah.
Surfside collapse, they passed all kinds of new rules, and you know, these HOAs, they have to have reserves, and you know, the fees are going up, and then you walk into this body of water. Sometimes, you know, they forgot that they needed to manage it, and you know, again, you can just go in there and nuke it chemically, right? But you know, we try to suggest sustainable management for it, and one of the things that you know we implement is aeration, right? It just creates oxygenation in the water, and it prevents these these builds up of algae.
That's
it
what
helps the
water
fish.
movement. It moves.
Yeah.
moving
It's the
water.
same thing as when you have a tank, the
Bubbles.
little bubbles, right?
Okay.
But this is on a much larger scale.
Okay.
And these systems, between the cost of the systems themselves, right, and the installation of the systems, I mean, you're talking between $8,000-$10,000 for a small setup.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we're doing is we're providing that to our customers as a service, right? So you pay your monthly bill and it's a flat fee, right? So we own the equipment.
Oh wow.
We eat the cost of the
and that's
installation.
something new that most people don't do.
I haven't seen that. I haven't
Okay.
seen that in the industry.
So
and
you guys are providing everything, so you don't have to pay 10 grand to have this little system, or 20, 30, 50,
No.
100.
you pay your couple $100 a month. You pay your lake management fee. You know, it's all part of the comprehensive
like a
management
lease.
program that we.
It's like a lease
like a
program.
lease, like a lease.
Wow.
So, I think that is transformational from a business standpoint. It's something new that I haven't seen in the industry. It's something that gets me excited because I'm executing those playbooks that I was
Wow.
executing before
Yeah.
in software, right? Like, you don't buy software anymore. You just pay subscriptions, right? So why can't we bring that into this?
Wow, I wonder how we could do that in the landscape world. The landscape world can be I know people already do monthly recurring bills to go cut your grass or
Yeah.
to trim your trees once a year or whatever.
How do you
it may
expand
be.
on that?
How do you expand on that?
How do you expand on that? And then, the first opportunity we saw was with this aeration. So I know the aeration is one of the most beneficial things that you can do for these bodies of water. It's natural. It's going to reduce the amount of chemical you have to put in. It's going to make management easier. What's the hurdle? Well, the customer doesn't want to come out of pocket, 8 to 10 grand. So if I can solve that problem for them, then it's a clear path to victory.
And how are you guys buying the equipment? You're financing it?
So we have capital that we've set up to expand, right?
Okay.
And what we did is we did a little pivot in the strategy. We have a manufacturer that we're working with to minimize. So the other thing you want to do is minimize the SKUs, right? So instead of having 10 models that we're working with, I'd rather have, 2 or 3 models that we work with, that we install, that we know well, that we have spare parts for. And the best part of it is, you're not having to do a special assessment to do what has to be done, right? The right thing to do for that body of water. The other thing is, when we give it to you, it's fully managed, right? So if it breaks, we're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
Right? If it leaks, we're going to take care of it. If it has to be replaced, we're going to take care of it.
Does it have any tech on it where it alerts you if something's not working?
You're not the first person to ask that.
well, I'm just thinking about it.
So, look, we want to continue to innovate. I think that we're getting close to something like that. There'd have to be Wi-Fi available.
Is that or a SIM card? Like we have cameras that have 4K SIM cards, or 4G SIM cards, sorry. And that allows us to have internet at that location, wherever it is. Yeah, SIM cards. Who knows about what's a SIM card nowadays?
Yeah.
But that pushes, let's say, the company that you're working with, that you're buying the software, the systems from. If you called them and you had a relationship with them, like with someone up high, or someone that can make moves, imagine calling them and going to these meetings and say, listen, man, I do 200 ponds.
Yeah.
I have your stuff everywhere. I'm financing this stuff for these people. Okay, I'm buying all this stuff and $1 million in on your stuff. I want to be able to see this from a laptop wherever I'm at, or from a tablet. And I want to get notified. I want to know what's going on. I want to see it all.
Yeah.
I know that's really how things happen. And then also putting deadlines. Yeah. That's another thing. You put in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, where this has to, we got to move the needle this far. I know that really does put pressure on making things happen, and that's how big things get created. That could be sold too. Like, think about it. Like, you're not the only guy that would want that.
No.
And you, like you said, you get asked that question a lot. So I'm sure there's enough demand for that. We have something like that in our world when it comes to pumps turning on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have something like that when it comes to something that can read, let's say, what's going on with the plants, or how much of this they received, or anything like that. We don't have that tech. Like the technology that's that can expand in that horticulture. I say horticulture because agriculture has more tech, which is farming and all of that. They have more tech. When it comes to the plant world, which is horticulture, we have less tech. Like, you guys have less tech?
Well, I think the tech is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, how does it make sense to implement it, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, the 4G and 5G SIM card modems, they're there if there's no Wi-Fi. The pressure sensors to sense how much pressure is coming out, it's there.
Everything's there, but
the temperature
sensors
are there. The question is, is there a true business need for it? Like, how much more is the customer willing to pay for you to have that in there?
Well, it might be just pay, or it might be you having to send somebody out to see it. You don't have to send them.
Yeah.
Which is less.
Well,
less
what's
labor.
the cost? What's your cost on that call, right? And how many calls are you? It all comes down to an Excel spreadsheet, right?
I guess. Yeah, I know, but it would be nice to just be able to sit there and see everything and see exactly what's going on.
And I think customers would love to get a weekly report, of what their equipment is doing and what's going on. A big part of this that I don't see in the industry is education. Right, so everyone sees the clear lake or the mismanaged lake. Shout out to my aunt, who every time she drives by the Lexus dealership on US 1 in Pinecrest, sends me a picture of the canal running through. It's like, this is filthy. Get in there and clean it up, right?
Send a letter. Look, what's the commissioner's name for Miami?
That's South Florida Water Management. So we're reaching out to them to get that. But it's a matter of getting in there and making sure that they know who to call and how to get it taken care of.
So it's awareness
and education too, right? So now that this exists. I don't think you gave this a thought before I showed up, to have a chat with you.
Not this profound.
No. So the other thing is the homeowners, right? I researched this business quite a bit before getting into it, and I don't have anything negative to say about our competition at all, right? But I did go and take a look at their Google reviews, and it's homeowners complaining that people are spraying chemicals and they're killing the grass. But they don't understand that they're killing invasive grasses to improve the health of the waterway, right? If that grass continues, then you're going to have an algae bloom, right? But the problem is that no one takes the time to educate people. So the one thing that we have to stay focused on, at least from a pond guru standpoint, no matter how far we expand, is that education and human touch component. I think that that's been a little bit forgotten in the industry, and I think it would help everyone out quite a bit.
What ideas do you have to do that, to get that more, create more of awareness and education for the homeowners and the people running communities and just everyone in general?
Yeah, I think you do that through social media. I think you do that through, you can automate your business. You can find efficiencies everywhere, but the place to find efficiencies and reduce cost is not in that human touch, that human component, because when the person understands the benefit of the work that you're doing, they're not going to leave a 1-star Google review. And they're going to tell their neighbor, oh, no, don't worry. They're making sure we don't have an algae bloom later on in the summer, right? Or they're killing that Illinois pondweed that's getting stuck in the boat propellers when they're going down the ramp to put them in the water. So the education is a major component.
And what do you see for the youth of let's say the people that, let's say the future of you guys' industry?
I want to back out, just not our industry, because I think, we're seeing a major change in the world with AI, right? I mean, everyone wants to go out and get a college degree and, work in an office for a company. And honestly, I don't know that that's for everyone. And I think with with what we're seeing in AI, I don't think there's going to be as much of a demand for that. But the walls are still going to have to be painted. The lake is still going to have to be cleaned. The data center is still going to need landscaping outside. The grass has to get cut. The air has to get fixed. I think we're going to see a major resurgence of service industry. And I think preparing the youth for that is really important. Bring back shop class, bring back trade programs that they can, leave senior year and go into these trade programs. Politics aside, right? But a lot of the individuals that are not here in this country anymore that were here, they were doing a lot of these jobs that people didn't want to do because they want to be in an air-conditioned office, right? The jobs still need to be done, right? So that's on the youth.
It's on the youth, yeah. And the youth today is very different, yeah. Like you look at school, parents pound, you got to go to school, you got to get good grades. I don't know how, I'm assuming we're going to continue to progress, right? I don't think that an EMP is going to come and blow us all of it could, right? Like who knows, right? But let's say the world keeps progressing, right? Let's say the world keeps progressing. My kids don't need to know math higher than 6th grade or 9th grade level.
No.
Multiplication, I don't use more than multiplication. If I have to use anything else, I'm inputting it into something because I don't want human error because it costs money. So I'd rather pay for a subscription for something. I'd rather pay $50 a month and it tells me exactly what the math is.
Yeah.
So I'm not screwing anything up. And I don't have to hire somebody that went to college and pay them $200,000 to tell me what the math is.
Correct.
So it's like, what does it look like in the future for the youth? Are you wasting time going to college? If you want to be an attorney, you want to be something like that, I get that.
You need it.
You need it. You want to be a doctor, you need it, right? I get all that. But I know people that know more about, let's say, plant health or plant growth than people that went to school for 20 years for it, right? And it's because hands-on, they're practicing. That's like the...
There's no replacement for experience.
The
you can't go
guy.
to college and get experience. That's like Tim.
Did Tim go to college for ponds?
No.
And I guarantee you he knows more than any college professor on ponds, right?
Yeah.
Because it's hands-on. And you go learning. It doesn't take a lifetime to do it, but as you go and you progress, you see more, you're active and you learn and you have a data center in your mind. Basically that's what I see.
We've lost apprenticeships, right? The idea of, you go and you graduate and someone shows you the trade. I mean,
that's what we should have.
Where'd that go?
Yeah. And there's not too many of that. And I talk about that in this industry too. Like one of the things that I see, because my eyes have been opened up to it, is I see, let's say, the technology on our side of the plant industry when it comes to like people that are doctors and scientists. It all exists, but it's not held at an all-time high like it should be. And I feel that we're lacking in many different areas just because we don't, like these people, there's no incentive. You know, there's no incentive for a plant doctor to go study, get $150K or $200K in debt. So that where is he going to go work at other than this, you know, very prestigious place?
Well, but that prestigious place is only going to hire 5 plant
Exactly,
doctors, right? So,
exactly.
So you got 100 kids going to school
For plant doctors.
for 5 jobs, right?
And
so
what are they going to do?
the other 95 of them.
And then maybe some of them aren't called to be business owners, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's not what God has in their playbook.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to waste that, you know, all of that time that they took to learn everything. And then you look at, like, we interviewed a company that they have glasses that they merged with another company. They bought their Technic glasses. Basically, it's like, let's say Ray-Bans, Meta glasses on steroids.
Yeah.
Right? Floratech, that's what it's called. And they have a system that while you're walking your nursery, it knows where you're at. And then it knows everything when it comes to, let's say, how you have your nursery laid out in an inventory management standpoint. Like, so I'm in block A, block B, right? Zone 1, zone 3, wherever you're at. And you could say, it's basically having an assistant with you. Mm-hmm. So instead of writing things down or anything like that, you basically talk and it listens to it. It can capture things, pictures and stuff like that. And it's for, let's say, a doctor or someone like that to walk around and say, hey, this plant has this bug, this plant has this needs to get stepped up, this needs to get cut back, yada, yada, yada. And it goes and it puts it into like a data software type
add
of thing.
this supplement to the soil because we're seeing that the
this
leaf
is what we need to
you know,
see.
Yeah.
So one thing I talked about there is, you know, I see the future of that being that we don't need a doctor. Me as an owner can have one of my guys put it on and say, oh, walk everything. Everything. The glasses can tell us, because how many apps, if you go right now, plant identify on and put it on your app store, you're going to have 100,000 apps pop up that you can take a picture of a plant and it will tell you what it is, where it originated from, what variety it is. Yeah. And then from there, you use AI and it can tell you everything. Same thing with a bug. I can get the bottom of a leaf. I can take a picture of it. I can even probably swipe up on my iPhone with the update and it can tell me with links what it is. I can put that picture into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, hey, what is this bug on this leaf? I need to...
How do I kill it?
How do I kill it? I'm in a plant nursery. I'm going to use this type of pesticides. I'm licensed for this. What can I use? And it'll tell me. I don't need any of that anymore.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but what you're always going to need is the guy to put on the glasses and
exactly.
go do the work, right?
That's what we need. Yeah. But the future is going that way.
But you're also forgetting that all that data is coming from inputted data. Like AI is just gathering all the data from many different sources into one place. So there was a time where forums was a thing. You know, people were actually putting this information into the internet, so we could actually have the results that we're getting from our ChatGPTs and our, you know, all the Claude or whatever program you're using nowadays. There's one thing that is terrifying with AI. Like, we no longer need to learn, and that's a problem because you're getting all your answers right away. So as we continue accepting that our jobs are going to be taken, you know, away for certain people, like people no longer put the effort to study, to get the knowledge, to actually, you know, learn about ponds or learn because they feel like it's already available to just, you know, get from ChatGPT or whatever it is that you need. So I think the most important thing before like accepting the fact that AI is going to take over, you know, it's like there's going to be less jobs for particular things. You got to know that you're letting this happen. You know what I mean? It's like you don't want to be that guy in the profession that you're going to be, just allowing AI to do the job for you, because it's just a big, like I'm just speaking right now out of my, you know, my mind, just thinking about everything that we're just accepting and the acceptance of what we are allowing with AI, how fast it's progressing, where it's actually at right now, and how fast it got to where it is right now. People don't even realize that we are allowing ourselves to completely just accept quick information. We're no longer taking the time to learn the things that we should be learning, and that's also going to affect a lot of the kids right now. They are accepting, you know, we no longer need multiplication, you know, like for a certain
No, we need
amount-
multiplication.
No, but I'm saying
No,
we
but
don't.
like calculate all these other maths. You don't use it on the daily unless that's your profession.
But there's a reason why we were learning it. I mean, it was allowing us to think, okay, so how do we break this problem down?
And what company? Let me ask you, what large company allows people to do this high-end math? Like look at even builders today.
But it's the
it's all they
ability
put
to
it in a system, dude.
They
It
have
does
an
a 3D
engineering
rendering.
calculator.
Yeah,
But it was the
And it does
ability
it all.
to be able to problem solve.
But I think you nailed it, right? There's two things that we can't forget: how to learn and how to solve a problem.
yeah, how to execute.
And that's what's scary.
Because
We're letting-
when you put all of that information at your fingertips, if you don't forget how to learn and you still know how to solve a problem, now you can get this information and weaponize it, right?
Correct.
But if you forget how to learn, I mean, that's it, man. You
that's
just become a
literally-
drone.
And that's what's happening.
No, but I guess, but like, dude, you gotta have an incentive. You gotta have a desire.
Brother,
Like you gotta be. I don't know, man. You
telling
gotta
me-
be very like lazy to not
Claude
put in the-
allows you to
put in
build
the effort.
to make code. It's like to build a website or to. You have the ability. We always had the ability to
But
gather
some things
information.
will fade out. Like me as a business owner, why do I want to learn how to do a website?
It's not you wanting to learn.
I know,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying. Or like, why would I need that?
it's just the availability. You don't need to hire somebody to make the website if it's going to be able to, and it's not that simple because I've seen that it's not, you know what I mean? But in the future, you pay a subscription and you input everything that you want. It's just a lot of jobs are being taken away.
I use AI a lot, and I've also seen it used on the commercial software side. And I can tell you that I don't know of a commercial software company that is having Claude write code and putting it out, right? I think it's you nailed it, right? But we're not there yet. I think it's a force multiplier. I think where you had a back room with 50 developers, I think today, some of that is going to AI. You can do it with
But
10.
I would say a little bit though. I don't think all of it though. A lot of it's
some
still
of it.
needed.
A lot of it's still needed because you can't put that code out there without making sure that it meets the design specifications, without putting it through quality assurance, without making sure that the AI didn't get delusional at some point and put something in there that didn't belong in there. The other thing is, if you're not using it right, it's going to rot your brain, right? AI should be a thought partner. If you're going to use AI to write an email, you got to at least pump in, like, what's the
Review
purpose
it.
of the email?
Yeah.
What are you trying to accomplish?
Right.
What points are you trying to get across? Sure, AI can help you get that email out, but you can't let the AI can't think for you, or you've messed up.
Yeah, you have to tell it in depth what you want it to be and feel and everything.
And it can polish it for you.
No, and I agree 100%. But I think people are losing touch with, just realizing that we're allowing a lot of things to happen in general with our country, with AI specifically, and
but not everyone uses AI, especially
and not only with it in general.
like in your industry and in our industry, AI is being used, but I would say maybe 5 to 10% of the industry actually uses AI. I
Maybe-
would say a lot of it is not being used like that. Maybe people use it. It's like, let's say the young generation. Our industry is 50 years and older. They're about 70, 80% of the industry. So about 20% of the industry. And this is as for plant growers, guys, not landscapers. Landscapers, it's different. There's a lot of young guys and less older guys. But in the plant nursery world, it's a lot of older guys, a lot of less younger dudes. And I would say on a personal standpoint, the younger guys might be touching it personally, or they might dab into it for, let's say, to ask a question, to find help or whatever. But our industry really is not utilizing AI the way they could when it comes to, let's say, just using ChatGPT. That people think AI, they think of ChatGPT. We use it a lot here to help us learn how to execute something. Like, what would be the next 5 steps, or what is existing already that Google ain't cutting it.
But you
people
have to
do-
know something, right? Because
Yeah, you gotta
I've been
have a
out in the
reason.
field and I've I want a second opinion, right? I use AI as a thought partner. And I take a picture of a plant, or I put in what would you do in this case, and sometimes it's just wrong, right? So if you don't know what you're doing,
sometimes
you
it
can
is.
get in a lot of trouble.
It is.
I think the place for it in this industry right now is administratively, right? In the office, you got to respond to a client, right? You get a couple points you want to get across,
And you want to
what the
polish it
goal
up.
of the email is. You want to polish it up because you need to send 50 of those emails today.
Yep.
That's a great place to deploy it.
Utilize it.
You can use it as a thought partner, but if you don't know what you're doing, you know, and you start spraying, you know, pesticides on a tree that you shouldn't, I mean, you can get into trouble that way.
Yeah, like you said, it gets delusional. Like it starts.
The other thing you can do is you can start building agents, and that's something that we're doing internally, because as we move out to franchises, right, you know, there's only one Tim GPT, right? He's not going to answer all the calls. So it's capturing that knowledge into treatment plans, SOPs, and pumping those into an agent where, you know, you can open a ticket with the agent and the agent will respond, right? And as we see information come out of that, we can pump in information into the agent. I think that's where there's a lot of value, because it's controlled data. Someone can go in a form and type whatever they want. That's what was happening before this, right? And there was the other forum members, it was on them to say, you're insane, that's not going to work, right? But with ChatGPT, it's just spitting, right? And no one's checking it.
All the information.
So unless you're building an agent and you have control of the data that's coming in there, you know, you're open to it picking up some pretty wild stuff from a forum, and then you're executing on that and causing a problem.
That's good. And
it's ultimately never stop like being hands-on and learning, and don't be so dependent on AI, because that's ultimately what, you know, where it was going. Just don't be so dependent of AI, and don't stop learning your trade. You know, it's the most important thing.
No, knowledge in the trade is 100%. It creates all the opportunities. The more you know, the more opportunities you have.
I think that there's hope though in the youth. I think they're seeing what's going on, and they're waking up to it. I mean, I got a call from my old high school a couple months ago. They wanted me to come in and talk to the blue collar club.
Okay, that's cool.
So blue collar club, what is this? It's like, you know, so I sit down with these kids, and they're talking about, you know, the future of service businesses. They're seeing the disruption, you know, they're seeing where things are going, and they're all really interested in service businesses. Well, they're high school students, right?
So 14, 15 to 18.
Yeah. And what they do is they bring in different individuals that are in a blue collar service business, and they interview them. They have them teach a little bit about the trade. But I mean, this is how it starts, going back to these things and giving these kids the opportunity to know what's out there. Because, you know, at least, I don't know about you guys, when I was in high school, it's like, you know, what college do you want to apply to? Take the SAT, and, you know, you pick your major. It's like that was the only path, right? At least giving them the ability to know that there's something else out there. And I'm not saying that there's not value in education. If you're going into a trade, going to a community college at night and learning some small business management is definitely going to help you excel and be able to grow in your trade. But you have to understand the trade.
You do. And especially now, social media is just pollution. It's like everybody, they don't even want to, most of the time they don't want to go into a trade. You know, it's that social media lifestyle. Yeah. How am I going to become rich? What am I going to do?
How can I call American Express and get 100K?
Forget about becoming rich, man. How do you enrich yourself? How do you wake up in the morning and be excited about what you're going to do?
If you're listening to this podcast, you're not on the get rich quick scheme. Listen, trades bring opportunities. They allow you to learn. They allow you to scale. They allow you to put away for the future. They allow you to buy things like real estate and other things, assets, companies, tax. You know, you're a W-2 employee, you're going to get taxed. You can't get away from it. When you're a business owner, you can do a lot of different things. Even working for a business owner, you can get paid other ways if it's not corporate. That can also help you grow in many different ways. Like I see, you know, I don't know. I'm on that boat.
But like he was saying, we didn't have that, us particularly when we were growing up. Like our social media wasn't what.
No, we didn't have
social media. We had like MySpace, and we'll get like
MySpace. Yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying, man. For us back in the days, it was we went to school, we took our SATs, we did, and we were pursuing, you know, a trade that was popular, at least back then.
No, and the influence you had around you that was literally touchable.
Yeah.
It's not influence on a website or influence on a social media.
Yeah. Now
it's very different. Yeah. You can see somebody doing something in a whole other country, and now that attracts you.
Yeah.
And it completely takes you away from what you could be doing here.
Yeah.
You know, and completely, you know, just messing you up.
Well, it also could be beneficial. You're seeing an opportunity somewhere
could
else
be.
that we didn't have before, but it's also very polluted. Like, we're very polluted. Like, our social
A lot of
media just gives
distractions.
us, a lot of distractions are the kids these
I
days.
say that the biggest, man. I'll talk to a kid, like any young kid that wants to do something like become an entrepreneur. I'm automatically drawn to that person, right? I'm drawn to that kid. So, you know, I'll ask a kid, I'll talk to this one individual, and he'll tell me, oh, bro, I'm doing this. And then 3 months later, I ask him, yo, what have you done? No, I haven't really done anything. Nothing but excuses. This is a 17-year-old. When I was 17, I had 3 businesses. At 17, I moved out of my parents' house, my mom's house, at 17. There was no excuse. It was, this is what we're doing, right? And you're trying a bunch of things to see what hit at the same time. Not, oh, I'm doing this for 3 months. No, now I'm doing this for 3 months. No, now I'm doing this for 3 months. It was more of, I'm going to do it all and see what hits. It was a different, let's say outlook on just everything.
But you can't teach that. You can't teach the hustle, right? I started my first company at 18. I had a printing company.
Okay.
But you can't teach the hustle, you know? You can't teach to go out there and knock on some doors and get some freaking sales. You can't put that into people. And, you know, speaking about social media and youth and everything else, right? I haven't had social media in 15 years. I don't want to waste time on it, right? But when we started this business, I said, you know, let's start an Instagram account, right? Just at least, and start getting a little bit of social media, because I think from a business standpoint, it helps to spread the word about the message. And again, I'm big on education. I post all of these educational posts about the wildlife, and I get like, oh man, like 400 views. Fantastic, right? I post one TikTok style video of us doing a mechanical cleanup with waders on and rakes cleaning out a canal for one of our municipal clients. We got 8,000 views.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that kids, like, that thing that clicks, you know, when you're productive, when you get something done, that thing is clicking by them watching these videos, because all these cleanup videos are so popular, right? Like, people geek out, like, oh, cool, you know? I feel accomplished because I watched a video of someone cleaning something.
Or like mowing a lawn on a dirty, like the yard is a disaster.
They almost feel
and
tired.
they clean them up, right? Yeah.
And I like what you said, though, because you said you didn't have social media for 15 years, and you're still able to manage a business. You're still able to shake people's hands.
Yeah.
You weren't dependent on social media to build your business, and now you're just getting into social media. So that really goes to show that the handshake still goes a long way. You know, the being not involved so much on social media platforms is not the main aspect of your business. You know, it wasn't where that allowed you to get where you are today. You were able to do it without social media.
Yeah, he's not trying to gain followers on social media to make money off social media.
No, but now he's trying to use it as a platform to gain more, which is exactly what people need to listen to. But it's
existing already.
Yeah, and that's what people need to hear. It's like, don't depend on social media to build your business. Build the business first, then use social media as another platform to build it.
And don't forget the value of the human touch, right? I mean, that's one thing. We get asked to attend association meetings all the time. They always give us the option to join via Zoom.
That's awesome.
I want to show up in person, man. I want to shake people's hands. I want to understand what's being talked about in the room before I join the call. I want to see, you know, what people's reactions are.
Of course.
It's a lost art. I mean, my wife and I, we have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. And so we don't get out much, right? But, you know, a fun thing when we go out is, you know, we don't sit at the bar, but we'll sit near the bar and we watch, like, young people at the bar interact. And, you know, the art of picking up a girl at a bar is a lost art, man. I mean, you observe them from
it's left for the 50-year-olds. 50 and 60-year-old young guys.
So we're both
guys.
You know, we're both having drinks at the table and you know, watching from a distance and just cracking up, because it's just, the world has changed so much. I mean, these kids, if it weren't for the dating apps, I mean, society would collapse. That's it. It wouldn't move forward, because it's like a fear of, like, you know, interacting. And then we have single friends, and they tell us, like, people don't get the numbers anymore. They're like, oh, what's your social media? And it's like,
Yeah.
this is.
Well, that's why they fail, because that's what they're asking for.
It's wild.
No. And social media is not what you want to give people, especially if you're single. God knows what you got on there. You gotta be walking a different path.
That's a perfect example of the dependence. You know, it's like we're depending on these online tools to be able to do what you should be doing, which is the human interaction, the actual learning. You know, we're no longer learning; we're just watching.
Yeah, a lot of people are watching.
Know.
When you go to those meetings, man, you shake hands, you ask questions. It shows that you care.
You network.
And that right there, you can express that through social media.
Yeah.
But since there was no interaction and no feeling, right? That person on the other side of the screen will never get the same feeling as meeting you in person, shaking hands, you giving them a hug, whatever it may be, asking that question, how your face looked, right? Your facial expressions, all of that. Because social media, we have social media. And I'll give this as an example. Someone that has been watching us for the past 3 years DM'd us on Saturday. 3 years. And this is I get all the time. But we don't pursue anyone. We get a new follower. We're not there. We have nothing automatic. Okay? Because that I feel like is so ingenuine. It's like a robot. And then we're not hounding anyone for sales. That's God's job.
Yeah.
For real, we're not gonna hound you for sales, bro. If you saw something that excited you or a plant that you need, you'll hit us up.
Yeah.
I don't gotta hound nobody. So 3 years they reached out, and that's happened multiple times. But social media has helped us reach. It doesn't really generate sales. It generates opportunities and eyeballs, but it doesn't mean that the opportunity is gonna turn into money. What turns into more opportunities like that turn into money is that human touch. We go to the shows, we meet people, we say what's up, we interview people. We don't even go as the nursery, we go as the podcast, because we're the only podcast, so everyone will remember the podcast guy, right? And
the podcast guy also sells plants.
The guy, he does. But if you jump on social media, you'll figure it out. And like I told you, I'm a big believer in God. And at the end of the day, if this place needs to generate $1 million tomorrow,
it will do it.
It will do it automatically. Who am I going to go pound sales down somebody's throat and try to take what they have in their left pocket to put it in my right? I'd rather educate you or have that one-on-one conversation. I got guys that they'll call, they want to talk to me, they'll call the office. We'll have a 20-minute convo, and I'm not talking about plants. I'm talking about strategy, or I'm guiding them into what they're failing at, or opening, their eyeballs. How can you sell more plants to someone that's not even selling plants or enough of them? You got to educate them on how to do that first.
No, the education needs to come in on the realizing that we are a niche market. So you got to follow your market as what works for you. And for us to try to sell plants on social media doesn't work like that, because we could see 1,000 people trying to do the same thing, and it's not what it is. We learned that our credibility is more important than the sale. So the better we look, the better we educate people, the better we communicate in regards to, these plants could be good for you here, or, or this is our availability at the moment. These plants will be good for you in the shade. They won't be good for you in too much sun.
Or these are ugly at the moment, or there's nothing available at the moment all around town.
So it's really finding the way your audience interacts with your business. So it's not so much the sale, because everybody wants to make more sales, but the sales will come with what you're providing.
Well, and what's a good sale? And what's a bad sale? And I think you were alluding to that. I'll give an anecdote, right? I have a HOA president that's my client. He loves his lake. This man loves his lake. I mean, we're talking about exotic birds on the edge of the lake. Yeah. I mean, he wants to stock the lake. So, I mean, and when he wants something done, I mean, he wants it done yesterday. Mm-hmm. And he's a great client. So if you want it, deliver, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes he'll wake up and he'll call me. It's like, I want to stock the pond with all these fish, and I have to tell him, "Whoa, slow down. What's the end game? What do you want this body of water to look like in a year? What do you want it to look like in 5 years? Are you trying to swim in it? What are we trying to accomplish, and how does that fit into the grand plan, the strategy? Because I could make a sale, right, and that's good for me in the short term. But if I'm not getting him where he needs to get, then I'm losing that relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And the way that we run our business, and I'm talking for Melody and Tim in Fort Myers, I'm talking for all of Tallahassee, I'm talking all of our locations, is it's a relationship-based business. It's based on referrals, and it's based on longevity, right? And if you don't build those relationships, if you don't engage in people, because what they're buying, look, anyone can show up and treat a body of water with chemicals, right? They're buying you, right?
Yeah.
They want you to be in charge of doing that, because
Trust you.
they're entrusting you to get them a certain result or a certain aesthetic that they're looking for.
Right. And the trust, to just pile on top of that, the trust is made when you're not looking for a sale, when you're not showing up with your ego, when you're not showing up with, literally trying to take from their left pocket and put it into yours.
Yeah.
I have a lot of clients that I have taught things to and educated, and just say, hey, God bless you, bro. Hung up the phone. And then a year or two later is when they're actually ready. I have young guys that come here that they'll be like, bro, I want to use your service, because we have what we call the dream team, the guys that go and find everything. If you're a young landscaper, man, and you ain't got nothing going on, why are you calling us to go do everything for you? You should go and do this on yourself. Like, you should learn, dude. Like, you have to, like, we're not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
You have to reach a specific time. I tell people that our perfect client is the guy that's searching for time, right? So you have to do a lot of things before time is like, before you're aware that, man, I need more time.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to exhaust yourself. That's our number one client, because that's the guy that's going to be loyal to us, because he actually respects what we do, because he tried to do it.
Yeah.
Because he knows how to do it, but he ain't got time to do it, and he doesn't see the value of him doing it anymore, and he'd rather have the dream team do it. Right? So that I've even pushed people away. No, we're not. You're not ready, because we're not cheap, right? You don't want to be the cheapest guy. You don't want to be the most expensive guy, but you want to be the most expensive guy. You want to be the guy that can execute on everything that the client needs, right? And whatever price that is. But it's not for everyone. And I tell people that all the time. Our full service, like, we do estimates, so we don't charge anything for them. And we pound out estimates. People reach out, they give us estimates. We pound them out. We go put our eyes on everything. Most people go on these platforms and they look at a plan. They're like, oh, Johnny's nursery has it. He has it for $5. Let's put here $8.
Yeah.
They don't know if Johnny has it. They don't even know who Johnny is, right? So we take 72 hours to turn back an estimate. Not everybody understands that. They're messaging back. They sent it at 8 in the morning. They're messaging back at 12 o'clock. Hey, where's my estimate? Dude, your estimate hasn't even got looked at yet. Like, we're on plant number 1. You have 72 items. Like, relax. We got to go look at everything. And those are the things that why things take a little bit longer and stuff like that. But you learn and you educate people on the process. You're not looking so much for a sale. I can pound out an estimate in 5 minutes, but it ain't going to help me if the client says, hey, let's do it.
I think where you nailed it is being able to execute, right? It doesn't matter if you're the cheapest. It doesn't matter if you're the most expensive. Your ability to execute on what you commit to is huge.
It's huge.
Because if you're the cheapest, right, and they bite and you can't execute on that, that's pretty bad. I mean,
that's bad.
It's a bad look.
Yeah. And your price should be, if your price is higher, it's because you can execute.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're taking home more. There's a lot of jobs that I do that I don't make any money. The business don't make nothing.
Yeah.
It went on errors. It went on other things, and I didn't make anything. Or I said yes,
but you said you were going to execute, and you
executed, I did it,
and that's it. And that now you've built that expectation with that customer.
And that builds that relationship. We answered everything. I think we went on a binge.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No.
We went on a binge.
I appreciate you guys having me on here. It's been a
great
great time.
Yeah. I told you it was just us talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get your contact information so I could put it all in the bio.
Oh, one thing I wanted to ask real fast. If someone wanted to jump in and, because I'm sure this podcast might get shared. If someone is into ponds or they want to get into it, how can they franchise? They just reach out to you guys?
Yeah, reach out to
learn
me.
More about it?
Reach out to Israel at pondguru.com or Miami at pondguru.com. Happy to put you in touch. We're always looking for young folks that want to learn the business, to put them in a tech program so that they can get licensed and trained, and then obviously looking for great operators that will help us expand throughout the country.
Okay, so that's what you guys are looking for. That was my next question.
He says he also works with a lot of landscapers, so if you're a landscaper and you have a big project and they have a pond or a lake or whatever it is,
even if you have a question, I'm sure he'll answer it for you.
Yeah, landscapers are typically not insured to work on the water, but they're managing, land. Happy to go on your paper as a partner and help you, full management. if you're getting pushback, right? I mean, we partner with landscapers all the time, right? Lake management, if the grass clippings and debris is ending up in the water, they're very quick to blame the landscapers. We're very quick to request a meeting with the landscaper and do a little bit of joint education, right? Understand why it is that those clippings are going in the water. Explain to them, what happens when they go in, because a lot of times they don't realize. They're just, they're trying to mow and it's at an angle and that's where it's going, right? So if we can figure out a different strategy, again, happy to work and exchange ideas there. And pest control too, right? If you are in mosquito or pest control, we have the tools and the ability to spray for mosquitoes on the water. So we do a lot of partnerships in that space as well.
So on the water is better because you're blowing it away from the water. Right?
Well, on the water is great because a lot of the mosquitoes are,
chilling by the
they're
water.
on the edges of the water, right? So if you're treating the source, right, you're going to get a much better result. And that's what we hear, right? So when you treat at the source, what they're doing on land actually is working.
And that's perfect to know now for mosquito season coming up.
Yeah.
Summer's here.
Yeah, big push on the mosquitoes.
And if your association is not taking care of your lake, you already know, or your river, whatever it is you got.
You already know who
Reach
to call.
out. Pond Guru. All right, guys. God bless you. Thank you, my bro,
Thank you
coming
for having
on.
us on.
Thank you, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, all of his information is in the description down below. All right, if you want to be a guest of the Plant Movement Podcast, you can always reach out to us at
elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting the movement, sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network for purpose, industry is green, only scratch the surface. Know this call is deep, nobody gonna work us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code, moving up with patience, foundation stone. Do what it takes, we're here to break the mold. Just for anyone who wanna level up, let's grow.
At your nursery now, ChatGPT to tell you what's going on and how to grow a more fire product. Reach out, guys. You don't have to, pull the trigger on anything, but like you said, education. We're here to help you guys, help to guide you. We have a lot of things already put in place that we've learned, that we're here to educate the industry and the community. So God bless you guys. Stay strong. Let's grow.